Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so due to the early leaks, we kind of do know that Kraven the Hunter is coming to the Contest of Champions in December as the only champion, or projected to be the only champion. Well, when I say we know, we don't know for sure because Kabam has not announced it publicly yet. However, these leaks normally are accurate. But still, I must tell you to take everything I say right now here with a bit of a grain of salt. This pure speculation. So is going to be what I am going to talk about next. And that is actual Kraven the Hunter's abilities. Now, I do not have like the full list of his abilities, but I did get in touch with somebody who also likes to dig around through the game files, and it turns out that quite frequently, about a week before the updates come out, they add files in preparation for the new champions, and you can kind of get a gist of what new champions are going to be about. Now, in, a casual circumstance, that in itself would be fairly interesting, but there are quite a few interesting things with Kraven, and the first one is that he's going to be setting traps. And these traps are effectively going to be the root mechanic coming back. Now, there are some fans of root mechanic. I wasn't personally one of them, but it's still, in my opinion, a good thing to see kind of like new different mechanics being added to the game. Obviously, it all depends on the execution, how they will feel to play and things like that, but it does seem that Root could be making its way back in the contest, and Kraven would be the first champion who would utilize this mechanic. So for those of you who do not know, the easiest way to describe a Root mechanic is glue. You just get glued to one point in the map. You can do everything. You can trigger decks, you can use attacks, special attacks, but you can't move out of your spot. It actually comes with quite a lot of different implications. For instance, if you hit an opponent with a medium, then quite frequently they will be pushed backwards where you can't connect your lights anymore, and you definitely can't heavy them, but you can still like parry and dex their attacks and stuff like that. So I personally didn't particularly enjoy it, but it's still something different, something new, and this game desperately needs development and new ideas and exciting things coming to the game. Other than that, I can quickly go over other abilities that are set to be in his kit. I'm not going to cover the synergies in full, but he also is set to have non-damaging debuff duration decrease. So effectively, he could eventually possibly go debuff immune, maybe. Depends how viable that is. Heavies inflict disorient, crit inflict bleed, bleed debuffs pause during level 1. Level 1 gives non-stacking true accuracy, can be refreshed by triggering traps. Level 1 seems like it triggers trap that is armed after X seconds and lasts until triggered. As a defender, trap is placed in his location and it arms immediately. Traps are not affected by ability accuracy reduction. The opponent's already trapped during Kraven's level 1. The game files apparently specify its route. He gets a bonus crit damage rating during level 1. Level 2 gives precision buffs, can be unblockable, inflicts poison, can refresh his bleeds, cruelty with level 3, and, a bunch more abilities. Again, this is still not like a full picture of all of his abilities, and he specifically says that here onwards the abilities become much less clear. Root debuff and precision buff seem to be paused during level 1. Traps can inflict crossfight abilities, so it wouldn't be surprising given the fact that variant 8 seems to be pushing the crossfights, map 8 seems to be pushing the crossfights, that we get a champion with more crossfights as well. If opponent moves into trap, it springs and deals a burst of direct damage and roots them for X seconds. Damage only scales with base attack. If the opponent moves into trap during their special animation, the trap is removed and does nothing. Ooh, interesting. That would be a way how to get rid of traps, by using special attacks. If opponent is pushed into a trap by a heavier special 2, Kraven has an X% chance to place a new trap. That's kind of interesting. And again, this is not exactly kind of like precise account of everything that is going to be in Kraven's kit, because a lot of these things are quite unclear, especially rooting through the game files from what I have heard. Synergy-wise, there are some interesting synergies with OG Spider-Man, giving Kraven the immortality buff. Synergy with Tigra. Tigra gets crit rating whilst opponent's neutralized, and Kraven gets fragility. Synergy with Venom Pull and Agent Venom. Kraven's traps also true accuracy also counters mess. That's actually quite cool. And Venom Pull inflicts degen instead of bleed if immune. And synergy with Spider-Gwen. Bleed debuffs are replaced with poison if immune. Cool. Either way, again, keep in mind to take everything that we are talking in this video with a grain of salt. I cannot 100% vouch for the accuracy of this ability. However, it's fitting. It seems like it's right time and right place. And even if it doesn't come, it can be a source of a good amount of discussion about the root mechanic, about the traps and the like, and how would you like if that is the case and Kraven comes in the game and does drop some traps, get champions rooted where you can't move. And it's also quite interesting because we have never had the chance to play with root mechanic offensively. We only went up against it basically as players who could get rooted, and we couldn't really root the opponents, if I remember correctly. So it might have like some other dimension implications to it that we might not yet fully know. For instance, I don't know, heavy spam in middle of the map. I don't know, some different things. All in all, again, even though I was not necessarily the biggest fan of root mechanic, the way we saw it, I still think it is a positive thing if it is in fact going to happen. I think we need more of stuff that's going to happen with Hawkeye when you get like basically additional mini game in his level 1s to have his special attacks to have his perfect release, or to have more different things added to the game. The game is at a point where a lot of it feels stale, and unfortunately, in order to make it kind of like different, Kabam currently is going to the route of you have 60 lines of nodes and things like that. I think solution is, more potent, simpler abilities, and new game mechanics, new game modes, rather than ton of content or just cranking up the difficulties or whatever. Either way, that is another discussion that we could be having for a really long time here, but let me know what you guys think about root, and if Kraven the Hunter will end up having root mechanic and we will be able to set traps for opponents, basically forcing them to stay in one place. Obviously, we also need to consider how it will be playing against him. But all in all, let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about